Well, hello Internet, and welcome to my tutorial on spotting bluffs and tells in poker, or how I made an extra $300 a week in college. The reason I'm doing this tutorial is DEIO Productions wrote in and said, make more psychology and behavior videos. So here is one. And I have a bunch of others planned in the future, but most definitely if you have something you'd specifically want me to cover, please leave a comment below. And also, I've covered numerous subjects on my channel, so you should definitely check that out. And I'm sorry about the lack of organization. Chances are I've probably covered something you want to see already and you just can't find it, so sorry about that. Now on to the basics of winning at poker. The easiest way to make money in poker is just find a bunch of inexperienced players and get them drunk. That's to a certain extent what I did. I know that sounds very bad. But specifically in this video I'm going to teach you some more intricate ways of spotting bluffs and tells so that you don't just have to rely on alcohol. After you master the fundamentals of poker, all there is to learn is the psychology behind poker bluffs and tells. You need to master these techniques to get players to stay in the game when you have the best hand. Spotting poker tells will also keep the other guy from stealing your money through aggressive bluffing. Now, in regards to what's the difference between a bluff and a tell, bluffing is when the other guy wants to make you think they have a bad or a good hand. A tell is a mannerism that informs you on whether their hand is good or not. Spotting bluffing is pretty easy to do, but spotting a tell will take a little bit of practice. Now on to the most common poker bluffs. You should always do the opposite of what your competitor is trying to get you to do. Most amateur players act timid when they have a good hand, and the opposite when they have a bad hand. Also, if someone acts like they have a weak hand, they almost definitely have a strong one. This is the number one way amateurs bluff. Think about it. Why would you ever want someone to think you have a bad hand, or a good hand for that matter? Also, if an opponent exaggerates their motions when putting chips into the pot, or has any type of exaggerated hand motions, they're trying to make their hand look better. Of course, everybody does this differently, so study the different players you're playing against during the game and figure out exactly how they exaggerate different motions. In regards to lack of interest, there are two forms of lack of interest. If a player all of a sudden starts staring down another player for no specific reason, chances are they're bluffing. If, however, they start staring off and act totally disinterested in the game, chances are you should probably fold because they probably have a good hand. In regards to chips, if a player reaches for or towards their chips before it's their turn, chances are very good that they're trying to fake you out. This is something that even very good bluffers do time and again. And again, just ask yourself, why would they want you to have any idea what they're holding? Here are some poker tells that you can actually use against even very good poker players. The most important thing to watch for is the player's reaction after they see their cards. Their reaction immediately after they first see their cards. You want to trust this first reaction and then distrust the second reaction that occurs as they look at everybody else. If they look at their chips after the cards, they probably got a good hand. And if they look at their cards, then chips, and then off into space, you should probably fold because chances are they have a very good hand. And also, the longer they look at their cards, the worse the hand, and the more they look at their chips thereafter, the better the hand. In regards to poker tells you can spot in regards to hand movements and such, sudden handshaking is a sign of a very good hand. However, if the jittery hands stop as you reach for your chips, chances are very good that the player is bluffing. And remember, you want to use things like that, reach for your chips, and test different ways that the person's reacting and watch how they react to how you are reacting. If a player shows someone else their hand, chances are it is good. And any touches towards the face are normal signs of bluffing. And if you haven't seen my gestures and body language tutorial, you can check that out and you'll learn a lot more about spotting if somebody's lying. And also, if the player starts protecting the cards unnaturally, they probably also have a good hand. In regards to poker tells, you can spot in the eyes. If a person looks at you briefly and then looks away, chances are they are bluffing. Also, looking at the cards multiple times is also a sign of bluffing. The person should know if they have a good hand or not. In specific to Texas Hold'em, looking at the cards after the flop means that they don't have a pair. But, however, they may be getting very close to a straight or a flush. And again, looking bored in any way is a sign of a good hand. In regards to leg movements, if a person bounces their legs and they are normally sitting still, they are probably bluffing. And if a person flattens their feet, they are showing that they are sure of themselves, and chances are they have a very good hand. And if they cross their feet underneath themselves, chances are they're bluffing. And here's just a couple other random poker tells. Players with a good hand are more apt to talk and laugh. Bluffers normally don't move at all. And also, this is very important, any change in posture, breathing, And if you want to spot if a person's breathing pattern has changed, just watch their shoulders, because their shoulders will rise when they inhale and fall whenever they exhale. This is a sign that the player is planning on changing their playing style, meaning that they're planning on becoming more aggressive or less aggressive. And this is a very good thing to be able to monitor. And any change in check or raise speed is also another sign that the person is planning on changing their overall style. So I'm by no means an expert at poker, but like I said before, these are just some things that you can learn to pretty dramatically increase your odds if you're playing against amateur players or even pretty good poker players. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, till next time.